So we'll resume the class, the effective communication skills and communicating with the co-workers in an organization, in a hospital, at the workplace where you are working. Previous day we have discussed the different method of the working, the communication. That part shall be continued. The communicating with mentally or emotionally disturbed patient. How to communicate with the patient having the problem with their mentally and emotionally if they are disturbed. And you need to determine what level of communication the patient can understand. You have to identify the level of communication, whether patient is able to communicate whether the patient is able to understand by which way, by the ways you have to determine the way, by which way you can make him understand what you want to tell him. You need to remain calm if the patient becomes agitated or confused. In such condition, if the person is not mentally well or emotionally well, then it might happen he or she is confused, he or she becomes angry, he or she might not listen to you carefully or might not understand your things you want to tell him or her. So you need to keep yourself calm and guide or communicate the patient in the way which is comfortable for them. You all need to write down all these points, because previous day I also told you the points which are discussing in this chapter is very, very important, because it helps you out when you start working in an organization, in a hospital. You need to be aware how to communicate with the different person, the different colleague, the co-workers, the patient, the different kind of patient in their hospital, the family members and the relatives. So you need to point out all these important points so you can find out yourself while you're working in an organization. Is it done?
Yes.
Okay. We'll move to the next. For elderly patients, a patient with old age or the aged patient, you need to communicate in this manner that they are confused. We all know by getting older, by the aging, the person becomes more mentally and emotionally confused. a denial person or the forget miss. So at the age of elderly, it's a human tendency or nature that person might get forget what you are conveying to them, or they might confuse. So in that case, you all need to make him or her understand properly, with reminding the previous things, that, sir, I told you earlier, this medicine is being taken by, or have to take for your health purpose or for your better recovery. You need to use simple questions and terms to communicate with the elderly patients, so they can remind or remember the things which are being communicated to them. Always ask the patient to keep themselves in a relaxed manner or relaxed pose, so they can feel comfort and they feel mentally good condition. So they listen to you, listen to the advice given by the doctors and the nurses, and as well by the GDAs. Like other, to communicate with the elderly patient, you need to speak very slowly, because at this age, the ability to listen and grabbing the things becomes very harder in at this age. So you need to very slow spoke to them and explain the points very slowly and clearly. Suppose you are telling him or her about the medication. So you need to explain this medicine must be taken at this time after or before breakfast or lunch. So the patient at this age might cooperate with you. So it's easier for you when patient is cooperating good in this age. Then it's become easier that you can handle such patients and provide the healthcare facilities according to their demand or the necessity. In communicating with the young patients, while you are communicating with the young patients, recognize and accept their fears and anxiety. At the young age, the acceptance and the fear in the hospital, it's a natural, because the person might not be aware about the treatment plan and the things which are going to provide during the treatment in a hospital. So they have a fear and they might get anxiety about the process. So you need to communicate with the young patient to recognize the things and accept their fear and anxiety, so they can be guided to their treatment plan. Explain any procedures. What is this. Explain any procedure. Suppose the patient is coming for treatment and it requires to send the patient for some pathological test. Then there might collect some blood samples from them, or patient needs to be diagnosed with some MRIs or the CT scan or the USG. So you need to explain the procedure, what are going to be the next procedure, so that they become fearless about the treatment plan. Always praise the patient. So nothing is going to happen. You need to keep yourself calm and be patient. This is all about your health issues. Whatever we are going to do, and we are instructing that we are going to do according to your health plan and the system which are being provided by the treating doctor. In that case, if any procedure which are going to hurt, like putting injections and might having some fractures in a body, or like giving the physiotherapies, or like putting the syringe inside, in that case it will hurt a little bit. So in that case also, you do not tell the children that this procedure is going to hurt you. But actually it will hurt, but in that case also, you do not tell the children that this procedure is going to hurt you. If you are going to tell that this procedure is going to hurt you, then that children might lose their trust on you, and he or she will not cooperate according to the treatment plan or the treatment condition. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then it's in condition with the patient is having different kind of disease. The patient with AIDS and HIV. First you have to know what is AIDS. AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome. The full form of AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome, and the AIDS is human immunodeficiency virus. So AIDS is a spectrum of conditions caused by infections with the HIV virus, which is also known as human immunodeficiency virus. In the initial stage, a person may not notice the symptoms or may not experience the brief influenza-like illness. So in that case, in a case of AIDS or the HIV, the positive person, he or she might not get recognized with the early symptoms for this disease. When we all comes to know about this disease, it becomes a very infected and in a very severe position, and it's destroy the immune system of the body. The main symptom of this disease is it's destroy the immune system, which in which the body is not performing well and not be able in that condition to get recovery from the disease or the sickness. So in that case, the patient is having or suffering with the HIV/AIDS. You need to accurate information about disease and the risk involvement. So what are the risk about this disease and the involvement about this disease? You need to inform them. So the person who is suffering from this disease must be aware about the risks and the information regarding the disease. Then you come to know you will need to answer as many questions as the patient will ask. Because this is a very dangerous disease, the person might having Is it clear?
Yes.
Then the next topic is terminally ill patient. What is terminally ill patients? Which kind of patient is termed as or called as terminally ill? The terminally ill is an incurable disease that cannot be adequately treated and reasonably expected to result in the death of the patient within a short period of time. So you need to write down terminally ill. What is terminal ill? What is terminal ill? The answer is terminal illness is an incurable. Terminal ill is an incurable disease that cannot be adequately treated and is reasonably expected to result in the death of the patient and is reasonably expected to result in a death of the patient within a short period of time.
Can you repeat that last part?
I repeat, terminal illness is an incurable disease that cannot be adequately treated and is reasonably expected to result in the death of the patient within a short.
In the what?
Sorry? From where?
To reject in the what?
Result in the death. Result in the death means the person will die after some time.
We can't get the last part.
From where? Just you repeat. What you have written, just you read it out, I will repeat. Expected to result in the death.
What is that word? We are not getting that word.
Sorry?
We can't get that word.
Death.
Explain that word, please.
Yes, I am writing over here. Just look it. You can see there on the board. The term is death. Is it visible?
Sure, that word.
Not death that we're asking about.
Okay, just wait a
Okay,
minute.
starting from reasonable, expected.
Yeah, just wait.
That's the Regina, what is that? Now we want to reject.
I'm writing on a board, as you can see it. Okay. Is it visible?
Don't see anything.
Judge.
Is it visible to you?
There's nothing there.
I've written here, just you can see.
It's just that way that starts with an R that you don't get.
Terminal illness is an incurable disease that cannot be adequately treated and is reasonably expected to death of the patient within a short period of time.
Skip the arrow. The arrow is the place that you will act. Reject.
Expected. Okay, no, we don't have any expected then.
Is it done?
Yes.
Okay. Then come to know what kind of disease is reasonable disease or the terminal illness. The disease which comes under the terminal disease is like the patient who is suffering from cancer, the patient who is suffering from the cancer, or the patient is having the advanced heart disease. Such patients have a very short period of time by which this is it, the patient is going to die within a month, within a week, within a few years. Such patients are termed as terminally ill patients. For such patients, the communication must be in a very good and in a proper manner. The patient is having with denial condition. They deny your acceptances. They deny your words. What you are going to tell them or convince them. The patient who is terminally ill is denied with your word, with your terms. He or she might show their angerness to you. They also bargain with you while you are giving the medication to them, while you are inserting injections and the various procedures. So they will bargain you, no, this medicine I can't take, I am not be able to take. They show their depression, their acceptance. So such patients, you need to be communicate in a very good way or very strict way with keeping yourselves calm and comfort. Is it okay? Any queries?
Yes.
Shall we move to the next slide?
Yes.
Then comes to the point, communicate with the co-workers. The communication with co-workers, colleagues, your seniors, your superiors, your juniors in a hospital. How to communicate with the co-workers. First you need to develop your rapport. While according to your rapport, the communication done by you or conveyed by you is depend. You need to use a proper channel. We have seen in a Maslow hierarchy theory that communicating in an organization, you need to communicate with the proper channel. Suppose you need to communicate with the higher authorities of the organization, then you need to communicate with the proper way. Like you need to inform your seniors, they will inform their superiors, they will inform their superiors. Then the message goes to the higher authority. You cannot directly communicate with the authorities because in organization there are channels, there are a system which is hierarchy system. There are like MD is there, the different managers are there, different directors are there, different coordinators are there. So you need to be communicate in a proper manner with a good attitude, proper attitude. And you need to make a plan and the time, fix a time to communicate, how to communicate with the co-workers, the superiors in an organization. So your communication becomes the effective communication. Is it clear?
देखो
Communicating with superiors. While communicating with superior in an organization or in the work culture where you are working, you need to inform them what you are going to communicate, what the topic, in which topic you are going to communicate. So you need to inform your superiors about the communication, the topic which you are going to communicate. Ask the questions. If any questions regarding the communicating with the superiors, you need to ask the questions how to communicate, what the content should be in the communication. You need to minimize the interruption, while you need to fix the time, the way of communication, the medium of communication. You need to minimize the interruption. Suppose you are communicating with your superior and there might be an interruption by the other person, by the other people who are working in the organization. This might be minimized. So your initiative shows or tells about the good communication or the effective communication to your superiors. So your initiative is the most important while you are communicating with superior, you are communicating with co-workers, with the patient or the patient family members. Then how to deal with the conflict? While communicating in an organization, there might be a conflict occurs in the communication. Never shows the negative attitude while you are communicating. We have discussed in previous slides that there are effective communication and ineffective communication, where negative and the positive attitude are discussed. So, even you are working in an organization and dealing with your co-workers and the superiors, you don't show your negative attitude because it hampers your work system, the culture and the environment in the organization. Always shows your positive attitude. Be personable and supportive. working with the different people with different ideas and different minds, you need to be supportive. You need to have acceptancy with you. Because without supportive nature or without acceptancy nature, you cannot work properly in a organization. Do not pass the judgment or do not refrain the judgment which are taken at the time of work culture or while you are working in an organization. Then you do not gossip while you are working in an organization, because gossiping, especially in the hospital, shows your negative things, like the negative attitude, the negative, creating the negative environment in the organization, because hospital is the organization where we are dealing with directly to the human being, not indirect conversation are there. The physical and the direct conversation are being done inside the hospital. So you have to groom yourself. You have to be like that, so you can show an positive attitude and the positive make the organization or helps the organization to create a healthy and good environment. Never jump to any conclusion. Suppose you are working and discussing the problems of the patient, you cannot conclude uh, you not conclude the ideas and the result of that particular topic or for that particular patient, because conclusion might it affect the patient's mental condition, their body physical condition. So you cannot conclude the things which are discussed with the co-workers, with the patients in the organization. Is it done?
Yes.
Then come to how to manage with stress. While you are working in the hospital, in the organization, it's normal to become stress while at the time of working, because stress can happen in the work place, because many things are going through in a mind, like how to work, what are the schedule plan for today, how to deal with the patients, how to deal with the co-workers, and many things are running in a mind. So stress is a natural which can occur with within the time of working. So how to manage with that stress while you are working? Stress can motivate you. Stress can motivate you towards the negative attitude, the negative, it can hamper your work at the work culture. Overwhelming of stress can affect you physically as well as mentally, because the many physical problems or the diseases are being occurred due to stress. So you have to keep yourselves in your these things. The mind should be stressful, free from the stress, because if you are taking too much stress while working, it might affects your physical condition, your mental condition. So it's also affect your health. Then how to manage with that stress? You have to learn about the managing process of stress and what what the thing you will do to free yourself with stress. You need to do it while you are working. You have to be very realistic how much you handle the work pressure and in your daily life, because the work pressure is not handled properly with many of us. The overloaded work or the extra work can hamper your personal life, or you might affect from the stress, the irritations. So it is totally on you, and you can only realize how much workload or work pressures can you handle. According to your ability to work, you can perform or give your performance in the organization. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to the next. The next topic is burnout. How to burn out your stress while you're working in a organization. A type A is a personality, the highly driven or perfectionist type of person, more susceptible, more susceptible to burn out the stress.
Hello. Your name and class.
So, how the stress can be handled is totally depend on the person. You yourself is responsible to handle the work stress, because other cannot help you out while getting free from the stress while working in an organization. Your personality, your mental condition, your physical condition, these all are related to get you relief from the stress which occurs or generated in a workplace. In type B personalities, suppose you are working in a relaxed way, very cool and calm, not getting so much mental pressure while you are working. So these are the way how you can burn out your stress while work in a organization with different co-workers, different colleagues. So it's totally depend on you how to get relief from the stress. Is it done?
No.
Okay. Complete and just let me know.
Done.
Then there are few stages to burn out your stress while taking off or leave from the work organization. The stage is need to take a break and go for a holiday with your family, with your relatives, so you can feel relax yourself. Awakening, like just you are awakening in early in the morning, doing some physical exercise or the morning walk or any other physical exercise which can help you out to get relaxed from that stress generated from the workplace. Going to gym for your full scale burnout or the phonics uh, full scale burnout or burn your calories or relax your mind. So these are the few steps by which you can relax yourself or burn out your stress while you are working in an organization. Then come to the other topic, policy and procedures manual. In our communication, there must be a policy and procedure which are manually maintained during communicating with the co-workers in organization. You need to communicate in a written way, not verbal communication is applicable in organization because you do not have any proof of the verbal communication. So whatever you need to communicate, you need to communicate it in a written way. Then you need to dictate your daily working routine of the organization, day-to-day work. You need to write down the routine of the daily basis, routine on the daily basis by which you can complete your work, whether any work is left or not. You can just cross check it by writing your daily day-to-day working in your office. So this is a good way by which you can improve yourself in an organization or improve your work habit, your work enthusiasm by writing your daily day-to-day work, what are the tasks you have performed and what the tasks you have left and by when you will have to complete it. Then you need to describe the chain of commands. What is chain of command? Then the working culture must be commanded in organization with the different superiors who are working with you in the organization. So they have the command of each and every staff or the person who is working in the organization. So you need to know what are the chain of command. Who is your superior, who is your reporting boss, whom you have to report your daily work routine and the work done, and how you get the suggestion and helps the ideas from the others. Then comes to procedures. What procedures are going to perform today? So you need to detail the instruction for specific procedures. Each and every procedure must be a specific instructions in a detail. So you can perform your daily work or your daily routine in a good way or in a proper way, and the work you can complete your work with your given period of time. So each and every procedures which are going to perform in an organization must have the details instructions regarding each and every procedures. So you need to follow the instruction and know the details about the procedures. Is it done?
Yes.
Then there might be some policies regarding your office and the organization where you are working and where you are going to work. What are the purpose? What are the purpose of your communication? What are the rules and regulation of the organization? The job descriptions. Each and every employee in organization have some specific job descriptions, because all the employees are not authorized to perform the same job. Each and every individual is having their own responsibilities, own duties while working in an organization. So you need to go through what is your job role, what is your job description over there. According to that, you need to perform. And you need to know the office hour. There must be a working hour or the office hour for each and every employee. Suppose you have to work for 8 hours or 14 hours in organization. The different organization is having with the different working hours. Then they have a dress code. They must have the dress code for different departments and the different workers in the organization. Especially when you are working in a hospital, you must provided with the dress code. Each and every department in the hospital is having the dress code by which you can recognize or the person can recognize this is from the GDA and this is the nurse, this is the paramedical staff, this is the doctor. So by dress code you can recognize the person in a hospital. So there must be a dress code for each and every department in a hospital. Then come to the insurance. There must be a insurance policies for each and every workers who are working in an organization. If the person required get harm while working in an organization, so in that case, the insurance policy or the insurance coverage might help the person's relatives, the family members, and if needed, then it's also help the treatment plan of the individual. Then the organization is having the vacations and the sick leave. They have a different leaves and the vacation policies in the organization. They must have vacations for like the Christmas is coming. So the different country, different the hospitals are having planning to give the vacation in the Christmas, so the employee can go and enjoy their personal life also. Apart from that, there are sick leave. In case the person is working regular basis in the organization, he or she might get some physical problem or might get ill. In that case, you can take a sick leave from the organization, so your payrolls or the payment or salary will not deduct from on the monthly basis. Then come to the maintenance of equipment. The hospital is an organization which is fully equipped with different kind of equipment and the instruments. So taking care of each and every equipment and the instrument having that particular hospital, the maintenance of that equipment is done by each and every staff, and taking care is done by everyone who is working with the organization. If needed, in that case, you need to inform your superior, your higher authorities that the equipment which are using inside the hospital need to a special maintenance. Then the organization have the mailing system. They have the different mailing system for the different purpose. So you need to instruct or give the instruction or raise your queries to the departments or within the departments by mailing the things. Then come to the bookkeeping. It comes under mainly the accounts department of the hospital, where the record of the transactions, then the expenses, the incomes are being maintained. In a bookkeeping, it's maintained by the account departments, where the income and expenditure of the organization are maintained. Then come to scheduling appointments for the patients who are coming in the hospital. They are having or they are taking must a prior appointment over phone, over email, or physically. So, scheduling the appointment according to the doctor's schedule, looking to how the doctors are available. According to that, you need to schedule or give the appointment to the patient, so they cannot get harassed when they are coming to the hospital. Then come to OSHA. What is OSHA? The OSHA is related to Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Write down. OSHA. Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It's a Occupational Safety and Health Administration. This is an agency which is run by the United States Department of Labor. United States Department of Labor the Congress has established this agency to keeping in a mind for the safety and the health issues of the employees. This is formed in the year 1971. In the year 1971, the OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration Agency was formed. It is formed by the federal government of United States. Federal government of United States formed this organization or agency with headquarters in Washington. Its headquarters in Washington. Then what is the role of OSHA? the main role of OSHA is its cover or act the most private sector employers and its workers. Its cover the most private sector employer and its worker regarding any safety and the health issues occurs while you are working in an organization. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So move to the next. Then come to the procedures. What are the procedures? While the patients are coming to the hospitals, then what are the purpose of test? Suppose the patient is provided or advised with the some diagnosis or some laboratory test. So what are the you need to clarify. You need to clarify to the patients and their family members what are the purpose of test. Why the test is necessary. Why the test is essential. So that any confusions or any doubt regarding the process not with the patients and their family members. Then you need to identify the specimen required and the collection method. What are the specimen and what are the procedures while you are collecting the samples from the different patients? You need to identify each and every specimen and the collection of method. So, it maintain its own specific condition whether the sample of one patient is not mixed with the other. Then next point is reagent standards control and the media use. The reagent, the patients are coming to the hospitals directly or indirectly. Indirectly, suppose one patient comes to the hospital and he has taken the treatment for that particular hospital. He gets soon well. So that patient can convey the others member of their family, the relatives to this hospital is good. You can go there. You can check the treatment from there. This is a good. While I was ill, I have taken the medication from there. And the source, some agents are there who are advising or campaigning for the area, for the community, and from there they are collecting the different patients and taking to the hospitals. So you need to recognize and find out the reagents and the medium by which patients are coming to the hospitals. Then come to maintaining the standard. The maintaining a standard in the hospital is very important because a good maintained hospital can only provide a good services to their patients, and the good treatment plans are provide covering with the patients to get very safe and healthy recovery as soon as possible, and control over the organizational structure. The control with the different co-workers, colleagues, staff must be maintained while you are performing in the organization. And the use of media. What are the use of media in a hospital? To promote its service, the facilities which are provided or which are having that particular hospital. So by which you can promote the services, the facilities of the hospital. Instrumentation. Instrumentation, you need to keep updated, keep advanced. The hospital is an organization which is going to maintain or keep upgrading daily basis, on the daily basis, by which upgradation, they can maintain their reputation, they can go to the next level of the treatment plan. Then next point, step-by-step direction. The step-by-step directions for follow the treatment plan, give the patients comfort zone, the good environment in the hospital. So, as you know, that the treatment is not as required because the condition and the environment, the patient, suppose you are going to a hospital for any visit or for any purpose, the patient is getting cured by the good work culture over there, or the good environment over there. So, it must maintain by the directions to each and every staff in the hospital, the circulation of the staff, the circulation of work to the different departments. Then expected value, the value of the staff as well as the patient in the organization. What are the value of organizational employees and their patients? Then come to the procedure. What procedure are going to having with that patients, because patient must be aware about the procedures which are going to be performed with them. Then the limitation of method, the limitations of method by which you can any procedures or any services which are available in the organization, they must have some limitation. So you need to maintain the limitations while you are working or handling the patients. Then reference. Any procedure are done with a reference. Without any reference, you cannot perform a procedure to the patient, because it must be advised by the doctors with some purpose. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then come to development of manual. How to develop the department, the organization. It's a daily work. It's like a daily work by which you can plan the development of the department within the hospital as well as the organization. You have to plan the format and the organization, create a plan, make a plan by which you can get a proper planning for different departments, how to work, what are the problems are being faced by the departments, by which you can create your report on the basis of problem faced by the departments and send it to the authorities or the management so they can improve or sort out the problems. You need to create the outline for each and every manual which are being performed in the organization. Develop and update materials. You need to develop your employee, your workers, and update the materials which are used for the treatment purpose, which are used for the growth of the organization or the updating of the hospital. Then you need to contact a national committee for clinical laboratories and standards. This is the board who gives the organization or the institution to maintain their level of standards. So you need to, while you are developing your organization or the hospital, you need to regular contact to the NCCLS board by which they can guide you or suggest you how you can help to develop the departments and the organization. National Committee and Clinical Laboratory Standard. It helps to maintain the level of laboratories, the level of the departments where the procedures are being performed or the done. So on regular basis, you need to prepare a report, the challenges, the problems which are being faced by the various departments and the various staff, even the technicians, and according to that report, you need to contact time to time this board so they can help you out to improve or develop the department as well as train the staff who are working there. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Then come to the conclusion, the summary of the medical assistant. The GDA are the main key between the office and the patients. The role of GDA is very important because you are the key. In previous slide, we also discussed the patient cannot communicate with the doctors directly, and the doctors cannot communicate with the patients directly. So, this need a medium, and the medium is the GDA. You can a good medium or the important medium between the office and the patient. Office means where the workers, where the technical staff, like the doctors, the paramedical, the nurses are working. So you are the main over there who can communicate between the patients and the doctors, the nurses, and the other technical staff. So about this communication, you need to be very careful. You must have the good communication skills like listening, interpersonal, and assertiveness, by which you can follow the instructions according to the organizational behaviors, according to the patient's demands, according to the community demand. So you need to be very proactive while you are working, and your communication skill must be very good. So you can communicate the message from patient to the doctors, doctors to the patients and their family members in a good way, in a proper way. With people with a special need, we have discussed the various while handling with the various patients in the hospital. You might have to face the people with anxious mind, angry, elder patients, the patients with various disabilities in their bodies, like hearing problem, like the communication problem, like the visual impairments in case of the patient is not having the good visual contact. So different kind of patients or the persons are being faced by you, and you need to communicate, or you need to handle each and every patient very, very carefully, because you are providing the service directly to human beings, which are also called as the hospital and the healthcare sector, providing the human service, where you need to face the emotional and physical condition, both you have to maintain. And you need to develop a working relationship with different co-workers, with different staff. So you need to, which will help the office to run smoothly. Developing working relationship will help the office to run, or help the organization to run smoothly. So GDAs are the very important role while working in organization, while handling with the patient, while communicating with the patients, their family members, or either to the management, to the higher authorities. It's all depend on you. How you communicate, how you perform, how you develop the work culture over there. It's all on you. So the good working environment and the good relationship between the departments must be maintained and run a smooth process. Is it clear? Have you done?
Yes.
Okay, any queries, any doubts, just you can ask me. Well, this is a very important topic. Communication is a very important for you all. Because while you are getting start your working in an organization, all these things you need to know very carefully, and you have to apply all these skills. And sometimes you need to apply your knowledge. How to develop communication skills for medical office as important as mastering administrative or clinical tasks. So, improving the organization of running the smooth organization, you need to apply your knowledge, how to develop your communication skill, how to develop or maintain the coordination between the office where the medical staff, the non-medical staff, the management, the administrative staff, all are working together. So, you need to apply your brain also. What to do, how to handle the problem, how to handle with the situation. Because no one is there to guide you or tell you. Suppose the patient is coming to the hospital with severe injuries or having severe disease, and the patients and their family members are very in a anxious mood. That time you need to apply your brain. How to communicate with that patient and their family member. At that time, no one was there no one who are going to be there to help you out and tell you that you need to tell this and you need to communicate this to the patient. You have to handle that situation by yourselves. And a good communication requires patient's feedback at every stage. To improving the departments, to improving the organization, improving the individual, you need to work on the patient's feedback. What are the patient feedback? How the patient is looking after the work culture and the environment of the organization. Each and every step must be followed by the feedback of the patient, and you need to work on them. With the help of your superior unit management. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Just look how to develop communication skill with medical office. So this is the end of this chapter, the communication skills and communicating with co-workers in organization while you start working. This is very, very important chapter in terms while you start working in an organization. Each and every slides and the points which I have discussed is very, very important. You need to apply all these after completing this course. You must get placed somewhere. At that time, you need to have apply all these things. If you have any doubt, any queries, any questions, you can ask me. Any queries regarding this?
No questions.
Okay. So this is the end of the class for today. We will end the class for today with this chapter. Next day we will start with the new chapter. We will share the PPTs on workplace, go through the PPTs, and if you have any doubt or queries, just you can raise your questions and ask me there also.